The Oppressor. It is the most controversial vehicle in GTA Online. Speed, agility, size, power, and versatility all combined in a single package. Heat-seeking missiles, countermeasures, rocket boost, and the ability to go upside down, which I will explain later. And you've got yourselves an absolute unfair abomination. Add to the fact that you can spawn this vehicle right next to you, it's easy to say that this vehicle is, by definition, overpowered. Most vehicles in the game are divided in classes, which are lists that contain vehicles that are similar to one another. These include cars, planes, boats, and helicopters, just like in any other GTA game. There are many subcategories in each class, but I won't bother explaining all of them, because they are too many. However, for the purposes of this video, I will explain the most important ones. Starting in the car classes, we have rocket or special cars. These are cars that can shoot rockets, but also have special abilities like jumping or going underwater. Armored cars, cars that have bulletproof windows or have resistance to explosions, like Imani Tech, and tanks like the APC or Kanjali. In the plane class, we have attack jets and bombers. Attack jets are jets that have weapons attached to them, so I won't include the Besra, for example. Even though it is a jet, it doesn't have any offensive tools. As for the helicopter class, I have decided to divide them in two categories, light and heavy. Light helis are those like the Buzzard, Sparrow, and Annihilator. Heavy helis like the Savage, Hunter, and Akula. And the boats are pretty useless, so I won't talk about them in this video. The only quote-unquote boat that is relevant in any way is the Kosatka submarine. I will do more tutorials in the future, covering some of these vehicles. With the established classes that I just mentioned, the Oppressor doesn't fit in any of them. Technically, it is considered a motorcycle by the game. However, no other motorcycle functions like the Oppressor Mark 2. The closest one is the original Oppressor, which has barely any similarities to its successor, having in common only rocket launchers and rocket boosters. The Mark II can literally fly, hover, and move faster than most supercars. On top of that, it is the only personal vehicle, apart from the thruster, that can have countermeasures. The flight mechanic is similar to that of the Deluxo's flight mode. Press control or shift to pitch up or down respectively, with a limit of how far you can pitch the nose. WASD are used to control the movement of the vehicle, just like in a car. The twist, however, is the Deluxo stops flying when it's upside down, whilst the Oppressor can keep flying. That is a huge deal because it allows us to go in a mode of flight that drastically increases the ascent speed and removing the pitch limit of the Oppressor. While upside down, we gain a lot more control over the Oppressor. Before we could only pitch at about 45 degrees, now we can point all the way down at 90 straight. In GTA, the character you control can only aim at around 70 to 80 degrees up, so technically anything directly above you is impossible to hit. With this in mind, if we take the Oppressor and hover directly above our target, they won't be able to hit us. That means that if we go upside down and shoot a rocket at them, we can effectively kill them without being able to be killed. When pressing space, the bike activates its brake. However, it doesn't function as a brake at all. Firstly, when you press it, the front wings retract and the Oppressor starts losing height, and it doesn't attempt to slow you down at all. Secondly, the speed can actually increase when you hold down the brake, because you are getting additional movement going downwards. And finally, it's not a brake that just makes us lose height, but a vector that works almost like a magnet, whichever angle the bottom of the Oppressor is pointing. So when you fly the bike normally, pressing brake will make you descend. But if you are upside down, the belly is pointing upwards, the bike will be pulled upwards as well. When the belly is positioned vertically, it will go forwards. When the Oppressor is in this position, it's called hovering. Since the speed of the brake and the speed of the bike are separate, it means that if we move forwards while upside down and holding the brake, we can almost double our total speed. This is crucial because it allows us to outrun missiles. Of course, some missiles are easy to dodge, like the Buzzard or Sparrow missiles, but others like the Scramjet or Deluxo missiles are literally impossible to dodge. This gives us a strong defense against homing rockets, while retaining the strong offensive capabilities in the upside-down mode. In many ways, the Mark II is a dirty and unfair vehicle that gives the player far too many advantages, while in return not requiring a lot of skill to use. The combined agility, small size, and quick maneuverability makes it an excellent tool for those who seek maximum destruction with minimal effort. That is why the majority of the GTA community dislikes the Oppressor, not simply because of its futuristic and outlandish appearance, but because of the chaos it brings to the game, making the fights rely on who can get their Oppressor faster rather than who has the more skill. Personally, I don't hate the Oppressor, but I understand where the criticism comes from and would prefer if it was never added into the game. Keep that in mind, because even though flying the Oppressor upside down can be quite challenging, it doesn't remove the unbalanced factor that makes the Oppressor such a pain to deal with. People can be upset if you use it, and that's something you must remember. That being said, let's begin the tutorial. When fighting other vehicles like cars, motorcycles, tanks, and helicopters, you have the upper hand. The rockets move in an arc, always aiming towards the center hitbox of the vehicle. Try to predict where the missiles want to go and move accordingly. Any obstructions like trees and lampposts will cause the rockets to explode preemptively. You can tilt the Oppressor left or right when shooting, in whichever direction the way is clearer. You can also pitch it up and down if the target is moving towards you or if it's above or below. In this clip, you can see how I initially can't hit my targets because they are moving towards me. But when I tilt the Oppressor down, the rockets hit my targets directly in the face. The same goes for the upside down mode. When you learn how the arc works, you will hit a lot more shots. The Oppressor has 20 rockets, which are enough to destroy all types of Imani-Tech vehicles, tanks, helicopters, jets, and rocket cars if the missiles hit. However, some vehicles like the Avenger, Night Shark, Terabyte, Half-Track, Acid Lab, and the MOC have explosion resistance higher than 20. Therefore, you likely won't be able to destroy them. If they use rocket cars like the Toreador, Scramjet, Ruiner 2000, and Deluxo, you will need to be extra careful because if they lock on you, the missiles will be difficult to dodge. This is why you will need to use either the chaff or go upside down. Although you can dodge missiles while right side up like shown, pitch up and down while steering, and you can essentially outrun all types of missiles. I can't find a reliable way to do this method. The best way is to get as far away as possible and then use it, as the missiles will need to cover more space. When attacking targets on ground, specifically with free aim rockets, learning how to aim properly can be tricky. The best method for aiming, in my opinion, is by turn aiming. Turn aiming is when you point your Oppressor on one side and then turn sideways to your target to get a better shot. The reason why I believe it is the best way is because of the high precision and the fact that you are moving while aiming. That makes it more difficult for the ground players to hit you. If the players on the ground are aware of your presence, you might need to go up and down in a quick manner to avoid getting hit. Ground players have two weapons that are very good counters to the Oppressor: the minigun and the railgun. The railgun is more dangerous because it can one-shot the Oppressor, but the minigun can kill you quickly too, if they hit a few headshots. The sniper rifle can one-shot you too if they use BST and hit you on the body or head, but that is less likely. If they are able to use the sniper rifle effectively, it is better to use the upside-down mode. You can practice your aim on LSIA or Fort Zancudo, select a target point, and try hitting it over and over again. Then try to practice on moving targets like NPC cars or police. About an hour of practice and you will have an excellent aim. We have discussed the weapons and the movement of the Oppressor so far, but one of the most overlooked abilities of the Oppressor is the booster. The booster is activated when pressing X on keyboard or A on controller. At first, it seems like a pointless addition to an already powerful vehicle that you may think is only used at takeoff for quick acceleration. But actually, it is more than that. Firstly, it can be used to take off upside down, which makes it especially useful if there aren't any good vertical surfaces nearby. But it has a second use which is far more practical. When you are fighting other players or just cruising in free mode, and you get locked on by someone, using the boost not only instantly pulls you to max speed, but also increases it to about 150 miles per hour. For a brief moment, you are as fast as most of the homing rockets in the game, which in turn increases your time to react and can even allow you to escape a relentless missile using the method I showed earlier. The moment you take off with the Oppressor, you should try and regain the boost mid-air so that in case you need it, you have it. Simply tap the W key on keyboard, or if you are on controller, hold the R2 key about 80% down. That way it recharges while you move. Helicopters. Savage. When you are fighting the Savage, make sure to keep your distance or engage while dodging. The Savage's only defense is its cannon, so if you dodge it, the helicopter will be defeated. Never attack directly head-on if the Savage is looking at you, or you may end up like this. Hunter. If it's used by one person, then simply dodge the barrage as the homing rockets will never hit you. Use your chaff and spam homing rockets. If there is a gunner in it as well, simply go higher than the helicopter. The gunner's range is limited to only shoot below the hunter. Don't attack from below, as the hunter has an advantage. Avenger. If an Avenger comes at you, try to shoot a few rockets to check if the armor is bugged. If it is, it will explode and you will get the kill. If it doesn't, better change vehicles instead of engaging with the Oppressor. If there are people on the guns, never attack right side up. If you hit the tail of the Avenger, you will cause it to lose control. Never find yourself in a situation where the Avenger is above you with a gunner inside. Kosatka. Kosatkas are not hard to counter when you are upside down, but when you are flying normally, it can be dangerous to attack. The Kosatka has one main weapon, the guided missile. It can one-shot the Oppressor and deals a lot of damage. Every vehicle that has a small hitbox and moves faster than 150 miles per hour is invulnerable to the Kosatka missile. If you are upside down, you can move in circles to dodge the rockets, but also to shoot rockets of your own. If they are not aware of your presence and you empty all of them on the Kosatka, it is likely that you will destroy it. But there are times where it takes more than 20 rockets to destroy. When it eventually is destroyed, the player will teleport at the nearest spawn location, which is usually at the beach. If they are using the yacht defenses, call your Sparrow and go off radar, then go as far away as you can to lock on the sub. Shoot rockets and occasionally look around to see if there are any guided missiles coming at you. Toreador. It is widely considered that the Toreador is the counter to the Oppressor. However, it is not quite the case. The Toreador has an explosion resistance of 6 rockets. It has decent tracking on the missiles, and most people confuse them as being similar to the Ruiner and Deluxo missiles. The missiles are slower, less accurate, and worst of all have half duration and locking distance. This weakness is horrible because firstly, you can directly dodge the missiles, meaning they will miss you entirely and won't come back. But even worse is the fact that they can't lock on you unless you are very close. Therefore, the counter to the so-called counter to the Oppressor is just to keep your distance and spam rockets. Deluxo. Now, an actual counter to the Oppressor can be truly considered the Deluxo. It has the highest tier of rockets with a fast fire rate. On top of that, it can fly. When you are right side up, the Deluxo has a huge advantage over you. Even perfect execution sometimes is not enough to beat the Deluxo. If they are bad at it, you can pop your chaff and spam rockets at the car, and if they hit, you will get the kill. You can use the right side up dodging I showed earlier. However, if you are upside down, you will have a considerable advantage over the Deluxo. Either attack from the side spamming homing rockets, or stay on top of them and shoot free aim rockets. Scramjet. The same goes for the scramjet, but it can't fly and has a 50% slower fire rate. It is possible to destroy a low-tier scramjet user even by being right side up. Jets, Laser, Hydra, Raiju, B11, and Rogue. Attack upside down, shoot missiles to make them turn, then use free aim rockets to destroy them. Slower jets, like the B11, are susceptible to missiles when they are lower than maze bank height. Usually when you are being chased by jets, it is better to go on ground and try to snipe or railgun them. Imani Tech. Most Imani Tech cars have resistance of 8 to 12 homing rockets. You must engage from a distance and high up in the air. They may try to throw C4s at you, so be careful. Shoot free aim rockets and try to throw them off. Although some may consider it an exploit, the upside-down mode is a difficult-to-learn skill that is extremely overpowered. Going upside down, however, is not an exploit, nor a bug. It is not fully intended. However, the fact that you can't fall off in the high skill level needed to use it consistently proves that some thought has been put into making this, which means it is an overpowered feature rather than an exploit. The truth is that the Oppressor itself is too overpowered, not the upside-down mode itself. 20 rockets are too many to have, deal far too much damage, and have great tracking, even after the nerf. And the fact that you can spawn it right next to you, while aircraft spawn only in designated areas. Mind you, most of the aircraft are very weak compared to the Oppressor, Helis are barely useful in PvP, and only a few jets are worth considering over the flying bike. To put my words into perspective, when GTA 6 releases, it will be best to not include the Oppressor altogether, rather than have it without the upside-down mode. In order to go upside down, you need to either go over a wall while pulling back, or do a jump start. You may quickly realize it is very hard to stay like this, as the Oppressor constantly reverts to its upright position. To combat this, you must tilt and pitch the Oppressor at the same time. So every time it pitches up, you must pitch it down, and at the same time, when it tilts left, you must tilt it right, and vice versa. This is by far the most difficult part of learning the upside-down mode, and you may need hours to fully understand. I have been doing it for over half a decade. The first time I tried it took me over 5 hours of practice to fully understand. Then countless to master. I will give you a list of exercises that you can do to get better at it quickly. Those are keeping upside down, forward movement, vertical movement, turning, forward movement with brake, forward movement while turning, stopping, aiming, backward movement, and hovering. Once you master all of them, you can consider yourself a good upside-down user. Before we begin the exercises, let me explain how to do a jump start. To do a jump start, you need to get on a flat surface, jump on the Oppressor, and while entering, hold Control, W and spam X for the boost. The second you boost, stop spamming X and hold space. This way saves time and in other cases is crucial if you are being camped by a Deluxo or a scramjet. Let's begin with number 1, keeping upside down. Move over to a large building or a flat vertical surface, press brake, tilt up and accelerate. Once you are upside down, control the Oppressor, pitch up and down to keep the crosshair centered. Tilt left and right to keep the legs horizontally. Every time you go back upright, go again upside down and repeat. Here is a slow motion analysis. Oppressor is pointing up, therefore you need to pitch down. Now vice versa. Now it's tilted left, so you must turn it right. When you are able to hover for 1 minute, you have completed the exercise. Don't try to overcomplicate things. Simply do your best to stay upside down in one spot. Focus on the oppressor and less on your surroundings. Each time you fail, you will also improve. Number 2, forward movement. Find a large skyscraper in downtown Los Santos and select a surface that doesn't have any obstacles away from it. Go upside down and this time try to move forwards. Press brake when you're about to hit the ground. If you are about to hit an obstacle, press to decelerate. Do this over and over again until you can hold for 2 minutes. By the way, your deceleration key, which is S on keyboard and L2 on controller, is your only means of braking. The handbrake, which is space on keyboard and R1 on controller, is used for gaining additional speed. Perhaps I should have been more clear on this topic. I am sorry for the confusion. Number 3, vertical movement. Go upside down, try to keep the nose of the oppressor tilted up toward the sky. Start accelerating. When you are high up, press the brake to increase your speed. If you revert, go back to the surface or just jump off the oppressor. Rinse and repeat until you reach the height limit. You will know when you are at the limit when the oppressor shuts off. When at the height limit, you can go upside down from there by going up and shutting off the engine. Next, go from the height limit all the way back to surface while upside down. Keep the nose pointed down. This time, do not hold the brake. When you complete both of these, the final one is to go from the surface to the height limit and back to the surface while upside down in one attempt. This will take a while to complete, but will give you a strong sense of how the oppressor behaves. Number 4, turning when upside down. Master the turning by doing a 360-degree turn on each direction. Keep the oppressor tilted left or right as shown, and you can speed it up by pitching. In this slow motion analysis, you can see how I turn the oppressor to the left. However, it won't turn to the left unless I pitch down using Shift or up on the controller. When you complete both of the turns, follow the roads for 2 minutes. Use the deceleration to stop yourself, the handbrake to go up, and learn how to maneuver by doing hard turns. You can also keep doing this until you get a better feeling of the oppressor. Number 5, forward movement with brake. Keep the oppressor upside down, tilt the nose slightly down, hold the handbrake, and accelerate. Moving like this makes you faster than riding the oppressor normally. Fly from Maze Bank to LSIA to complete this exercise. As you can see, I am not pushing control or pitching down, as the oppressor does that automatically. Number 6, forward movement while turning. After exercise 4, you have a better sense of turning. Accelerate with the handbrake and start turning left or right. Try going upwards as well as downwards when turning. In the meantime, always hold space. The faster you go, the better. Do 2 360s on each direction. When done, ask a friend to use a Deluxo or Scramjet and fire a rocket at you. Toreador won't work because it has worse missiles. The second you see the rocket, go as fast as you can upwards and start turning with handbrake. This may take a couple of tries. In order to avoid the missiles, you must be going fast, but also move at an angle. Every time the rocket turns, it loses a lot of speed. When you outrun the missile, you have completed this exercise. Number 7, stopping. Fly with max speed to a waypoint, stop, turn and move to another waypoint. Try to stop exactly on the middle of the waypoint. Hover exactly on top of the center. Do this 3 times. After that, find NPCs on the road, move above them, and stop. Try to stay above their head for as long as possible. Stay for 1 minute to complete this exercise. Number 8, aiming. Go to LSIA. With missiles equipped, go over the middle of the airport where the roads intersect. Hover about 30 feet in the air, then point the oppressor down and shoot. Get 3 rockets in a row right at the center. When done, alternate targets. Choose 2 or 3 random points in the airport and alternate them. Do this 4 times. When done, train your aim on cops. Get 3 stars of wanted level and shoot at the cops without using homing rockets. Destroy 15 to 20 police cars. You might need refilling, and destroy 2 helicopters. When you are done, your aim will be very decent. Number 9, Backward movement. Go on a waypoint, move 30 feet forwards and move back towards the waypoint without turning. Do this 5 times. Try increasing the length each time you go. Move on top of an NPC, move forward, go back, and kill them with a rocket while upside down. Do this 5 times as well. Number 10, hovering. Point the oppressor 90 degrees down while upside down. Hold the brake while keeping the oppressor in this position. Move like this for about 2 minutes. Pressing S will make you go up, W down, and turning is slightly different, but after practice can be learned quite easily. When you are done completing all the exercises, you can start mastering the oppressor by flying around Los Santos. Fly under bridges, between buildings, under tight gaps, perform quick turns and train your aim by shooting NPC cars and helicopters. You can alternatively use the explosive MGs to further enhance your skill. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comments. Liking and subscribing will be much appreciated. Have fun and good luck training.